Hey, good evening. This is the CSRN podcast. I am actually on my phone when I should be concentrating with the people that are watching right now. What we're going to do, we're going to play our short intro video and we're going to come right back. This is the CSRN podcast, our week in review. We'll be right back.
I must confess that that dream that I had that day has at many points turned into a nightmare. Now, the other thing that we've got to come to see now that many of us didn't see too well during the last 10 years, that is that racism
not guilty
is still alive in American society and much more widespread.
Broke his neck after Baltimore police.
A handful of protesters, a handful of criminals and thugs who...
Many in moments of anger, many in moments of deep bitterness, engage in riots. And as long as America postpones justice, we stand in the position of having these recurrences of violence and riots over and over again. Social justice and progress are the absolute guarantors of riot prevention.
Mr. Gray's death was a homicide.
The Negro was freed from the bondage of physical slavery.
The athletes marched onto a stage.
But at the same time, the nation refused to give him land to make that freedom meaningful. Freedom without land to cultivate. Freedom and famine at the same time.
And create jobs for our people.
Negro is to be free. He must move down into the inner resources of his own soul and sign with a pen and ink of self-assertive manhood his own emancipation proclamation. But I want to get the language right tonight. I want to get the language so right that everybody here will cry out, yes, I'm black, I'm proud of it, I'm black and beautiful. Individually, we are poor when you compare us with white society in America. We are poor. Collectively, we are richer than all the nations in the world with the exception of 9. That's power right there if we know how to prove it. We begin the process of building a greater economic base. And at the same time, we are putting pressure where it really hurts. We don't have to argue with anybody. We just need to go around to these stores and to these massive industries in our country. Say, God sent us by here to say to you that you're not treating his children right. We come by here to ask you to make the first item on your agenda fair treatment where God's children are concerned. Now, if you're not prepared to do that, we do have an agenda that we must follow. Our agenda calls for withdrawing economic support from you. We mean business now, and we are determined to gain our rightful place in God's world.
All right, we are back. This is the CSRN podcast, our weekend review. Let's start with some intros. I've got my man back here again. It's been a minute since we had Jody on the podcast. I'm Brother Washington Muhammad. I'm one of the co-founders of CSRN and also a registered and active member of the Nation of Islam, whom We had Savior's Day maybe last week, and we may talk a little bit about that. A lot going on. What am I wearing today? I've got on a gray hoodie, a black hat, my brown rimmed glasses. I've got my beads. And as always, I'm dedicated to respecting, protecting all Black bodies, no matter the cost, no matter the gains or loss. This is the home of Black Lives Matter and Justice or Else. We've got the Empowerment Toolbox coming on later on. I really want to get to that. So if you could introduce yourself, what are you wearing? We'll take a quick commercial, come back. No, we'll do our mission statement, take a quick commercial, and come back with Anika Fields. So who are you? What do you got on? And it looks like you got a couple of new accessories.
What's up, everybody? Jody J. Summers, child of the system, better known as Spoken Truth. I've missed your lovely faces over the past month of
That's right.
doing plays and all the historical Black History Month stuff and not being able to be here. I am the treasurer of this wonderful organization and a whole bunch of other stuff. You can find out because it's like a book that keeps growing.
That's right.
For the people that are listening to us, whether it's just on Facebook or YouTube or Spotify, because we know this is around the time that you might be driving or taking kids to sports and stuff like that. So whether you listen, then hear. I'm a big brown bear of a man covered in tattoos and crystals and stones and bones and life from meeting people. These are remnants of people that I've met through my life journey. Yes, there are a couple new ones.
That's right.
But at the end of the day, that is where it stops. They don't give me magical powers or anything like that. This is memories of mine, things that I can actually tangibly hold on to, because a lot of stuff in life is fleeting. So if you don't keep the memory of that alive, you forget. But other than that, I'm again glad to see all your shining faces in the studio. I think there's like two people. Yeah, now. Well, anyway, we got a great show planned for you. And I think I'm back because next week we have one final show and then we go to do our official duties.
Right. And right now, let's get into the mission statement. Who we are. What do we stand for? And if it looks like I'm rushing, we got Julian. We got Julian coming, so we got to block out some time. Got to block out some time for Julian. All right. So
and
we
happy
can cut him
Women's
off.
Month and all of that stuff too. So on where my voice fits best, we got some more talking about for loose ends and everything. But I guess the creation of why we have a foundation.
That's right.
And all the stuff that we do to keep this organization going, almost 10 years, right?
That's right.
So here's our mission statement. We are the Community Solidarity Response Network of Toledo, formed on November 25th, 2014, the day after it was announced that the killer, a Ferguson, Missouri police officer of Michael Brown, an unarmed teenager, would not be indicted. We bring awareness to the injustices experienced by men, women, and children who are disproportionately attacked, provoked, harassed by law enforcement. Police brutality has to end. We bring awareness to the fact that most often, police brutality goes without consequence and accountability. Police impunity has to end. We utilize the tactics of protest, civil disobedience, event disruption, and citizen advocacy to give voice to those who are otherwise voiceless. We facilitate progressive, community-based events that help foster self-development, and we discuss measures to hold local leadership accountable to their sworn duties, be they politician, clergy, law enforcement, educators, etc., etc. We want justice, equal justice under the law. We want justice applied equally to all, yes, all, regardless of class, creed, or color. For all lives to matter. Black lives, yes, Black lives must matter. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King. Sure.
Hey, before we take a short break, could you tell us what was it like being away from us a few weeks with the play Sweat at the Toledo Rep?
It was interesting. It was, I guess, another skill I've gained, a way to empty out everything I've been building through my brands and what is it, intangible? Oh, well, that word I keep forgetting. But yeah, building myself up to be what is Jody, what is can't do much without you knowing who I am, to becoming that character that was everything I wasn't, to allow you not to see me anymore on stage, but him, was a great thing. And it made me cherish of all the stuff that I do now, the people that I meet, because I could have been a Brucey at one point in time.
All right. And family, if you didn't get a chance to check out the Black Lives Matter Theater Sweat at the Rep, the director Liam Ellis, dynamite brother. Hey, let's take a short break. We're going to come back with the Empowerment Toolbox.
Oh, and shout out to the Toledo Rep for winning the Best of Toledo Award.
Okay. All right. Toledo Rep. All right. Hey, let's take a short break. We're going to come back with Anika Fields and the Empowerment Toolbox. This is the CSRN Podcast Week in Review. We'll be right back.
Canal. En esta hermosísima ciudad de Orlando.
I'm here in Barranquilla, Colombia, and in sunny Miami. Daytona Beach, mis amigos, that's where we're at today.
Desde la ciudad de Cartagena, Colombia.
We are in Orlando right now, here in Florida.
I'm Helene Sheets, Director of Marketing and Communications at beautiful Lourdes University, and we've been a proud sponsor and supporter of Voces Latinas TV for over a decade. It has been a fantastic partnership. It's been our doorway into the Latino community. We've met so many incredible people, created so many partnerships. Our students absolutely love the connections we've made through Voces Latinas TV, and we're looking forward to at least another decade, 2 decades. All right, we are back. This is the CSRN Podcast, our weekend review, and we have 2 dynamite guests. How you feeling today, sis?
Awesome. Happy to be back with you. And
that is right.
Us today.
All right, Asa. That's right. Hey, if you could, in keeping with our CSRN tradition, could you introduce yourself? What are you wearing, and what are we talking about today?
Absolutely. Well, my name again is Anika Fields, and I am with the Empowerment Toolbox, an organization that's really just designed to edify people of color, to be able to give us the tools to be able to manage some of the challenges, some of the unique challenges in life that we have. And I am wearing a gold colored shirt, long sleeves with the little ruffles on the sleeves. and a pair of maroon, yes, I'm fancy today,
All right.
and a pair of maroon slacks. And next to me is my co-author. What's your name?
All
And my
right.
son.
I'm wearing an NBA blue, red, white, gray t-shirt. I had khakis on, but I changed into some blue sweatpants with cargos.
Awesome.
And just white socks.
That's right. We're shoeless for this interview.
All right. Okay. All right. Hey, okay. The name, the Empowerment Toolbox. How did that come about, and what's the meaning behind that?
Well, the name, the Empowerment Toolbox, came about, I guess, through life's journey and just finding satisfaction in being able to empower, support, edify, and uplift, especially people of color. So Toolbox came about because we offer some resources that are designed to act as tools for you to put in your toolbox when you're dealing with different situations. So there may be, we have journals. We have a 30 Days of Gratitude journal that kind of helps you reframe your negative thoughts into positive thoughts, and kind of helps you build from the inside out, because unfortunately we only have control over ourselves in many of these situations. And we also offer workshops, journal writing workshops. We've done some workshops on identifying racial microaggressions and disarming racial microaggressions around the area. So I just realized that edification and fortifying ourselves, preparing us to deal with these issues, works a little bit better than trying to make others allow us to have a seat at the table. You know, we can bring our chair, we can edify ourselves, build ourselves, and work from the inside out to empower and uplift ourselves and our people.
All right. Well, you've got a treat today, because for the last few weeks, I've kind of been riding solo, and we had Yasin Muhammad here. He did such a great job. People were like, Jody, who? It's awesome to have the old hack back again. Jody back again. So I wanted to ask you this: why did you decide to share the principle of gratitude in journaling instead of just keeping it to yourself? You wrote a book. Why do that?
Yeah, well, the reason I decided to share this coping tool, if you will, is because of some challenges that I've experienced with racial microaggressions and just all out hate crimes in our community, in addition to just, being a person of color and dealing with everyday issues that we deal with, and racial microaggressions, but also with adding COVID on top of that.
Wow, yeah.
Uncertain and stressful time. And I came to the realization that I needed to do something to take care of myself, to decompress, to decrease the amount of stress that I was experiencing. And obviously I didn't have control over stopping COVID. So I had to find something to do. And I had a friend of mine who journals, and I'm a big research and data person. So I'm like, okay, let me look at this, because I didn't believe in writing things down. I didn't grow up where you write stuff down. And so I did the research and came up with some very interesting data, in that one really compelling piece is folks who participated in the study through this Mindfulness Institute out at the University of California, after writing down 3 things every day that they're grateful for, amazing changes took place. One being that their blood pressures decreased by 10%. They reported better sleep, being the duration of their sleep and the quality of their sleep, even how long it took them to fall asleep. They had improvements. They felt better. They felt happier. And so I'm like, okay, well, now I have something and I'm going to try it. I decided to give it a try. And I forced my children to try it as well because, they're my kids. So we tried it as well. And it's really something amazing that really helps you shift and be able to focus on the present and what you do have and rewire your brain. And what ultimately happens is you manage things differently. You deal with stressors and challenges differently. When writing that gratitude, 30 Days of Gratitude, which is available on Amazon, by the way, Asa wanted to jump in on this. So Asa and I, which is my son here, again,
all right,
we wrote the Mother and Son Journal because, kids have stress too.
That's right.
I'll let him talk for a second here, but even the give me just a second, please, sir. Even the American Psychiatric Association has some data they released in 23 about like the huge increase in calling it a crisis in terms of children's mental health. So I guess I realized that kids have stress too, and things are as big for them as they are to us. So he and I developed the Mother-Son Journal, and we also did a Mother-Daughter Journal as well to be able to kind of help bond, help get out some of those emotions, both icky emotions and both positive emotions, and just be able to do something with that. And we wanted to share it with people.
All right.
You wanted to add something?
The Mother and Son Journal and the Mother and Daughter Journal are in the two backs. We'll share.
Okay.
We'll share the journals with you guys for everybody to see.
Oh, that's awesome.
This
is
awesome.
It's right there on the screen.
Yeah, it's on the screen, but there's the actual one.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. All right.
It's all the blue.
Yeah. Hey, what was it? Can I ask Asa? And I'm about to get you in trouble, Asa, but it's all good. What was it like working with your mom on this project?
And he looks at me.
Yeah. Okay.
What was it like contributing? Yeah, what was it like your ideas? What were some of the ideas you had with the journal?
I made some ideas like for the line, for like when you go to ask the question and write it. She made it to where it's like
lined.
It's 9 lines on each thing, and then I did the starfish with the smiley face. I don't know if you guys can see.
You did some graphic design, yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Okay.
All right. Yeah, we'll have to give them a sneak peek one day of the inside of the journal. Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep, we'll have to have you in studio. I was excited to see you today.
Yes. We almost made it there today, but we will be there at some point soon.
All right. Hey, listen, before you go, during the month of gratitude, Jody and you will come on and you will ask us 3 things that we're grateful for. Could you tell us, Anika, for today, if you could list 3 things that you're grateful for, and then Benny wants to know, where can we get these journals? We put we put their response on the screen, but could you give us 3 things that you're grateful for, and then we could let Benny know where you can get these journals?
Absolutely. 3 things that I am grateful for is I'm grateful that I have a home to come to.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm grateful that I have a home to come to. I'm grateful. Yep, you can do it too. I'm grateful. Yep, I'm grateful for my new granddaughter. I am a first-time Mimi.
Whoa. Okay.
Yes.
That's
my
right.
daughter. Yep, my daughter had her baby on my birthday, which I told her to come on my birthday, and she did.
That's just showing out. That's just showing off.
It is. Yes, and I'm also grateful. I'm grateful, and I'm gonna explain this, but I'm grateful for our access to books. and libraries, because obviously at one time our ancestors did not have access to that. And I mean, they could be punished by up to death for even
That's right.
trying to read or, enjoy a book or learn. So I'm grateful that we do have these resources available in terms of books, and they're accessible to us. We can rent them at the library. I'm happy to have access rather. So those are the three things I'm grateful for. And Asa?
I'm grateful for my mom, my niece, and my dog, which you can see him. You can see part of him.
Okay, I thought my name was going to come up in there, but all right. I beat the dog. I almost beat the dog. I was right there.
You were just one under the line.
That's all good. At least I'm moving up. All right.
I'm grateful for you too.
Oh, okay. All right, we can close out. This has been that's awesome.
Show ever.
All right, Benny wanted to know where can he support and get the journals?
Well, thank you, Benny, for that question. The journals are available on Amazon. I am going to drop the link inside of the chat here before the end of the program. In the next few minutes, I will do that. But it's also on the screen there. It's the www.amazon.com/author/Anika, Anika, S like Sam, Fields, FIELDS. Thank you again, and you're absolutely welcome. So yes, just one other thing I want to mention about this particular tool, and one of the reasons that we designed it and we're sharing it with everyone is because it really does help you to build a stronger bond with your child, in addition to many other benefits such as improved communication, writing skills, self-confidence, and even vocabulary. But just having an opportunity to build with your child. It's a prompted journal. So it'll be a question on one page or something that the mom can answer, and then the child will respond to. So it gives you an opportunity to understand what they're feeling, what they're going through. And that's really key, because sometimes kids don't want to either say it out loud or can't articulate it in the way that they want to. And they can write it, but they can also, there's activities in there where they can also draw pictures back and forth to each other. So,
all right. So listen, lastly, can we look forward to seeing you again? And also thanks for Benny in the chat.
Yeah.
All right.
Awesome. Thank you for the comments. Thank you. We're glad we could bring a guest forward to help you out.
All right. So
thank you.
Hey, we've got Julian Mack in the green room. We also have Yasin Muhammad here in studio, and they can't wait to get back to it. Can we count on having you come back?
Of course.
In a few weeks?
Absolutely. CSRN, you guys are my family. So I'm always going to come back. I may have to take a little time with make adjustments here and there, like with this little one and everything. My niece Asa, when Asa's going, because everything is a debate, right?
That's right. That's my man.
But yes, absolutely. I'll be happy to come back on, and we are going to get in studio. Because we want to be on the other side of the computer.
That's right. That's right.
But so good to see you both today on this podcast. Thank you so much again for the opportunity. And yes, you guys go order the journal and go back and forth with your children. It's a wonderful gift for your child, for you, and it's a keepsake. So I tell my kids too, when they get older, I tell Ace in particular, when he gets older and he's getting ready to get married, I'm gonna pull that journal out. I'm gonna let his wife know what she's getting herself into.
All right. I got you back, Asa. I ain't gonna let that happen to you, bro. All right. I know what that's like.
Be careful what you write.
All right.
Yes.
All right, thank you, Anika. We're going to take a short break, and we're coming back with Julian Mack and Yasin Muhammad. This is the CSRN Weekend Review. We'll be right back.
Hey, I'm Dr. P. Not only am I a leadership coach, I'm a change agent, and I'm a race scholar. I've used my study of race to dismantle systems and organizations, but I also use that to help you as the individual become a better leader for your families and for your community.
Now you can get the same uncompromising truth you've come to expect from the Final Call newspaper on all your connected devices. Subscribe to the Final Call Digital Edition today. Go to subscribe.finalcalldigital.com.
All right. Welcome, everyone. This is the CSRN podcast. Our weekend review. We've got Julian Mack. We've got Yasin Muhammad. We've got self-care and self-aware Tuesday. So we're going to allow Yasin and Julian do the intro. So let me start with you, Julian. If you can introduce yourself, who you are, and what you're wearing, and then we'll have Yasin introduce himself, and then we're going to get into the inward revolutionary, and we're going to get into some self-care for our young people out here. Who are you, sir, and what are you wearing today?
Good afternoon, good morning, or good night. My name is Julian Mack, and I am a revolutionary warrior of love and light. I have served as the spokesman with the Community Solidarity Response Network. My preferred gender pronouns are he, him, and bruh. And I am wearing a neon green bow tie, a magenta purple shirt, a corduroy jacket, and a black vest with a necklace that says grateful.
Okay, so obviously you win all the colors today. We just had
and I got a feather in my hat and I got a feather not in my hat, excuse me. I got the hat off today. I got the locks out today, and I got the feather in the head as a symbolistic nod to my indigenous family.
Okay, all right. Hey, we just had Anika Fields on with the Empowerment Toolbox, and she always reminds us to be grateful. If you could list 3 things that you're grateful for, Julian, today, what would those be?
Well, first off, this breaking the weather, right? Do things in due season. You know what I mean? So I'm not going to get into the deep stuff about the calendar. But what I will say is that we're in a season of new birth. New things are budding everywhere, right, on the earth and inside of us and everywhere. And it's a beautiful thing.
All right. All right. So let's switch to Yasin Muhammad to introduce himself. He's got some colors on too.
I got a couple
And
colors.
if you could list 3 things that you're grateful for, then we're going to get into the inward revolutionary and find out what's on Julian's mind. All right.
All right. Well, I'm Yasin, also known as Mr. Muhammad. What I got on is a blue sports coat with a black shirt with space and a hand on it. Pretty cool. And I'm wearing one of my watches that I love, Invicta.
Oh, wow.
Ghost model.
All right. Shout out to Invicta.
They're not paying us, but just shout out to them.
All right.
You guys make good watches.
All right. So, like Julian, we just had Anika Fields on the Empowerment Toolbox. 3 things that you're grateful for. What would that be?
I am grateful that I wake up with my own mind. I'm grateful for loving myself for who I am. And I am grateful for everyone that's helped me through the journey through my life.
All right. And for everyone that heard Anika and Asa, got to put Asa in there too, because he's getting half the check. If you want to purchase the book and the journal, there's a link right there. We put it on the screen. So make sure you screenshot that and make sure you go out and get that journal. I already have mine. get yours. So, Julian, we're talking about the inward revolutionary. What's been on your mind? What have you been reading, and why is it important?
The Inward Revolutionary is a segment that I do on here each week to focus on the revolution that we can have inside of ourselves, thus creating and manifesting the outward revolution. I try to base what I say on different literature. I finished We Real Cool by Bell Hooks, which is about Black men and masculinity. I thought it was a good way to not mansplain and also honor our Black women during Women's History Month at the same time. And so what I want to do is kick this off. I'm going to keep it short, okay? I promise, 5 minutes or less, right? But I've gone through this whole book and I found what I believe is the most potent information of these 250 pages. This page and a half is the most potent that I think is very relevant to all Black people, but specifically Black men and our healing journey.
All right. Why is that important to you? Because most people are reading something else or not reading it at all. Why is that important to you?
Yeah, so a lot of in my healing journey, I found myself seeking validation for many of the difficult questions in life. And I really had to humble myself because I'm not the first one that's thought of these difficult questions, right? And there are great minds before that we stand on the shoulders of giants. And there are great minds in modern day and long before I was a twinkle in my daddy's eye that thought of some of these answers. The thing is that you won't see these type of answers in the Super Bowl, right? You won't see these type of answers on a commercial, and it's unlikely. Let me say this and be clear with this, just to bring some context, brother. These gender wars, right, that we see within our news feed, that we see being perpetrated through our psyche on social media.
It's nothing but a distraction.
Is nothing but a distraction, and I don't believe it to be authentic, right? And the more research that I do, the more nefarious that these type of operations and deliberate these type of operations it's clear that they've always been that way. And if you remember, I remember, July of 2020, right? And we were just getting that messaging through of defund the police, right? Of reinvesting in our communities. And all of a sudden this manosphere, sexist, misogynistic talking points really started to get blasted through our news feeds, right? And I don't think that that's an accident. And I'm here to say that many of us Black men do not embrace those type of beliefs, right? And I can at least speak for me. And it's not. Let me also say this: it's not an alignment of the relationship that Black men and women have had together throughout our existence.
All right, and I've always furthered that thought. Whenever you see something trending on social media, and it's odd that something posts and everybody sees it, and it's super popular. And we would do something here in the city, and it's as if no one has saw it. So yeah, all of that stuff has always been suspect, for me. And fortunately, I'm glad that you see it, and we're not the only ones having this conversation about how that emotional immaturity is marketed, and then we take it and we make it real. All right. So I'm glad that we could put a stop to that. And speaking about putting a stop to something, I wanted to just engage Yasin regarding self-care and some of the ways that we can stop the hurt of young people. What are some of the things that you've seen that young people your age, which, late 20s, mid 20s, kind of like me, that can do to help them cope with the world that they live in?
Well, I'm not going to say as if it's a step-by-step, easy peasy kind of thing you can do. But what I have noticed a lot with a lot of people, including myself around my age, you have to learn to forgive yourself. I'm not young. I'm not old enough to believe that I have been through too much that I can't forgive myself. And I'm not so young enough to the point that I don't know better. Also, for people our age, we need to learn to forgive ourselves for the mistakes we made and not continue to make them. We need to learn to make sure that we can be able to make those mistakes so we can grow from them.
All right. So when did you start having that thought? Because I'm in contact with a lot of young people and they're really hard on themselves.
Yeah.
All right. And they're really unforgiving of themselves. When did you start studying that?
Well, I see on social media, and a lot of people get into this mind frame, what they see on like Instagram and stuff. A lot of people, they live their lives through basically selfies. They live their lives basically through through a particular lens. And we see that as young people. They're like, oh man, I'm not living my best life. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing that. And I got to find some way to get money so I can do this. So we get into all this scamming business. We get into making dirty money, making any money to get whatever money we can so we can live this kind of lifestyle that's portrayed to us on social media. But they don't tell you about the other side of living that kind of life, or the other side of like what, is not shown. And that's either the stuff you haven't worked on through. You can have whatever you want. But if you're not working on that self, then it's not going to matter. You're just going to be a depressed person with money. And although for some people that may sound okay, I'd rather be depressed with money than without it. Well, there's been a lot of actors in this past few years that took their own lives due to like Jason David Frank. There's been a lot of people like that had all the wealth, had all the fame and accolades that you could possibly imagine, and yet they take their own lives. Not to get so dark, but if you don't take care of yourself with or without money, or without the lens of this perfect life that you have on social media, then you're going to fall victim to a whole bunch of stuff that you really shouldn't be falling victim to. And that's through taking care of yourself and forgiving yourself for mistakes that you make and learn from them.
All right. Back to the inward revolutionary. I think you got something in the green room that you had added on the screen.
Yes, sir. I'm trying to work on the, I'm working with the audio visual team, trying to do a little bit better here, brother.
Well,
right?
They work better with you than us. All right. It's all good.
I got to slide them something a little in the Cash App when I get a chance.
We'll give nothing. I guess that's why we get what we get. Hey, what is this on the screen and why is it important?
Yeah, so this is exactly what I'm about to read. This page and a half that I'm about to read from Healing the Hurt. Right. And it specifically applies to Black males, working with Black females, and how that can play an important part in healing one's self in the healing journey and redeveloping self-esteem. Right. So I'll go ahead and start. Shortly before he was assassinated, Malcolm X praised Black women for, this is Bell Hooks speaking, for our contribution in the freedom for struggle. Quote, I'm one person who's all for giving them all the leeway possible because they've made a greater contribution than many of us men. Listening to and learning from progressive Black women is one way for Black men to begin the work of self-recovery. Black men need not prolong their pain while engaging in savior searching, that is, waiting for the Black male leader who will rescue them. In Heart of the Soul, Gary Zukak and Linda Francis define savior searching as the effort to locate an individual or circumstance that can deliver you from your discomfort. They warn that savior searching can take the mundane form of believing you will be transformed by money, fame, education, a perfect mate, job, or automobile. I call this living on the principle of if only. Many Black males sit around believing that they could get it together if only. The only way to salvation for Black men is to look within, to recognize themselves as the source of their well-being. And Rock My Soul, Black People and Self-Esteem, I suggest that in today's world, mental health is the recovery. Excuse me. I got so excited. Right? I suggest that in today's world, mental health is the revolutionary frontier for Black people. Sound mental health begins with self-esteem. Many Black males, even those who have all the outer trappings of success, feel low self-esteem. In 6 Pillars of Self-Esteem, Nathaniel Braden states, self-esteem fully realized is the experience that we are appropriate to life and to the requirements of life. Self-esteem is the confidence in our ability to think, confidence in our ability to cope with the basic challenges of life, and the confidence in our right to be successful and happy. The feelings of being worthy, deserving, and entitled to assert our needs and wants, achieve our values, and enjoy the fruits of our efforts. The 6 pillars of self-esteem are personal integrity, self-acceptance, self-responsibility, self-assertion, living consciously and living purposefully. She writes about this in about the ways individuals lack self-esteem and losing their sense of agency. They feel powerless. They feel they can only be victims. This sense of always and only being a victim is one of the factors preventing wounded Black males from reclaiming a lost sense of agency. Since that lost sense of agency, which is the aftermath of soul murder, may be a consequence of childhood trauma more than the result of a vicious encounter with racism, then the healing process must begin with confronting the past, or at least living differently from it in order to live fully present. Lastly, to build self-esteem, that is the foundation of self-love, Black males necessarily engage in a process of resistance during which they challenge existing negative stereotypes and reclaim their right to self-definition. To achieve that end, they must do spiritual work. I use the word spiritual here not in the sense of organized ritual, but more in the metaphysical sense of cultivating care of the soul. Just as Charles Johnson identified contemporary Black female insistence on the primacy of our spiritual beginningness to counter racist, sexist dehumanization that would always and only deprave our bodies. Black males must cultivate the language of heart and soul.
All right. I feel like we should be snapping our fingers, Julian. Thank you for that. And what book is that?
That is We Real Cool, Black Men and Masculinity by Bell Hooks, copyright 2004.
All right, that's what's up. Hey, listen, we're going to take a short break. We're coming back with Darius Simpson, and we're going to be doing a 419 Lock Show, all right? Yeah. And everything else that Darius is doing. Julian, thank you for joining.
Can I hang around for Darius?
Yeah, okay. Can he hang around? He just asked, can he hang around for Darius? Yeah. Okay, Jody says yes. All right. All right. Hey, listen, we're going to take a short break. We're going to come back with Darius Simpson and the 419 Lock Show. This is the CSRN podcast. Our weekend review. We'll be right back.
Have you ever dreamed of showing the world who you are, showing what you can do? Can you act? Can you dance? Do you have talent? If you do, then come on and get fame. Express yourself, where dreams become reality at Fame Studios. The environment here consists of children and teens that are all ages and all diverse. We offer dance, modeling, acting, and even fitness. We provide daily, weekly, and monthly lessons. Fame Studios is a semi-professional platform with many well-trained instructors.
Ever dreamed of showing the world who you are? Welcome to Fame Studios.
Get fame today.
Great job, ladies. You can contact us today at 419-699-6769. Hope to see you at Fame Studios.
Did you know addiction is a disease, not a moral dilemma? The opioid epidemic and substance use have a major impact on communities of color and many people's lives. The Joshua Treatment Center offers culturally relevant, inpatient, and outpatient behavioral health treatment and recovery support services to any Ohioan struggling with addiction, mental health, or finding sober safe housing. We must recognize that treatment is available and accessible to all. If you are in need of treatment or want to find out more information, you can call 1-888-728-2713 to talk to someone or schedule an appointment.
All right, we are back. This is the CSRN podcast, our weekend review. On the banner, you might see in studio with Anika Fields. We had Anika Fields here, and as our CSRN tradition, if we can have our guest introduce himself. What are you wearing, and what are we talking about today?
Well, my name is Darius Simpson. I'm an artist. I am wearing today a Mac Farms hoodie, Reefa out of, I believe, Michigan. And I am here today to promote the 419 Lack Show with Sunkiss Studios, Respect Your Crown, aka Ty Dolla. I know she refers to herself as Sunkiss, but that's what we're here today.
Yeah, we know it from a lot of names.
You
all
know,
right,
you
all
know,
right.
The infamous.
All right. So, what is your involvement? When did you find out about the 419 Lock Show, and why are you involved?
My involvement is going to be providing background for one of Jody's very beautiful and powerful pieces. I am there to add artistic flair, creativity. I came in the project kind of after she had already got the wheels going. She asked me if I would like to participate. She actually asked me, she was washing my hair. She was like, so don't you play an instrument? And I was like, yeah. She's like, would you like to be in the show? And I'm like, ooh, I was nervous. I was anxious. And I said, well, I needed motivation to take these guitar lessons.
Okay.
So this could be a sense of inspiration and motivation to do well and present myself in front of my community as a multifaceted artist, not just a traditional artist or visual artist, but creatively with music as well. So I'm here now.
All right, very humbly said. All right, when we look at your name, it says Darius Simpson, artist. How do you define artist, and what is it that you do as an artist?
What was the first question?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. How do you define artist, and what do you do?
I believe it's a person who simply creates freely. I see a lot of people create for the purpose of selling something. I believe that's a different type of creativity.
Okay.
That's a different type of art form. The artists that I see, the artists that I admire are people who are not staying inside a limited box. I mean, you may have someone who sketches, but then designs clothes.
Okay.
And then they may also sculpt. So there's many different things. I believe the way people live is art. I believe that the way that we shape ourselves and can redefine ourselves is art in itself. So I believe it's linked to authenticity.
Okay.
And not,
all right. I'm feeling all that.
you know, created for the purpose of consumption. But,
all right. So I always ask people their origin story. All right. When did Darius Simpson become Darius Simpson artist? What were you before, and what was it that started this, what I'm seeing and feeling right now?
Well, previously, I, for lack of better words, would say I was a 9-to-5er.
Okay.
That was my life. I had always had the skill to draw, but I doubted my ability because I had suffered an injury to my wrist. So for as long as I could remember, all I knew was get money. Whether it was working, whether it was hustling, it was to get paper. And a friend asked me for a picture that they had in their phone, and I'm like, I think I could do that. And that started entering into art exhibits, one known locally around the city as Rossi, all the way to getting into the Walter Turnhull Gallery at Owens. I had something in the art museum for a short period of time. It kind of snowballed into a different space that I didn't have to be limited by what I produced in a monetary fashion.
Yeah.
But what I was able to express from my heart was able to inspire other people. I was able to inspire entire character in Jody's work. And Jody has an extensive catalog of content, of books, of images. And to me just stepping into, I want to express myself, that inspired someone to express themselves in a completely different direction. So I found value in it, in putting my ideas out there, regardless of what they look like, regardless of how they may be perceived by someone else. I'm able to connect. I'm able to have a conversation with someone that's deeper than, so can we link together and make 10,000?
Yeah. I got you.
You know, getting to hear their feelings. Maybe they brought a different idea to something I made that, man, I didn't even know it said that. I didn't know it reflected that. So it's a different way of existing, man. I'm grateful to be brought here.
All right, so we've got Julian Mack. He's got locks. You have locks. I don't think that I have locks. All right, so it's like one of these things are not like the other. All right, so it is what it is. All right, that comes from being alive and present during the Jerry curl craze. All right, I was like, sign me up first. All right, so never again, never again, never again. When did you start growing yours, and why did you start growing them? And is it a statement? Is it a vibe? What is your locks to you?
Hand me my book, Jody. Yes, I appreciate. Thank you, Yasin. I appreciate that, brother. I ain't gonna give y'all the full thing, but Ty actually had us write what our locks meant.
Oh, okay. Shout out to me for not patting myself on the back,
hey,
but
for real, you know, pulling up something serious.
Yes, sir.
Do you remember Living Single?
Yeah.
Do you remember Kyle Barker?
Yes.
Okay, so in order to represent and reflect this statement properly, I wanted to call that, because my aspirations for growing my hair were to extend my central nervous system, to be interconnected to my environment, to be in the spiritual aspect. But I think whoever wrote his words in that show did a very significant thing, because he said that it said that my hair is not just for fashion. It is part of my heritage. It is a statement of pride. I think that summed up everything I just said.
Okay. My man. All right. Yes, sir. Beautiful. Julian, I don't know if you call you a fellow Lockster.
Rastafari.
Yeah. Okay. So for you, Julian, you heard the conversation about the 419 Lock show. Hey, we need to put that graphic up because we failed to do that. All right. And that's going to be March 10th at Prime. This is at 383922 Secor. If you know where Dewey Wings is, hey, go to the back. All right. If you go to the front, it might be a problem, but but come in and get something to eat from Dewey Wings, and then come around back to Prime, and that's what we're going to be. We're going to be shutting it down. We're going to be putting it down. We're going to be stepping up in all of those words that young people used to say. That's what we're going to be doing. So for you, Julian, what do your locks represent?
Yeah,
and
so,
why did you start growing yours?
Because I thought it was a way for me to express my Blackness, right? I thought it was weird always that, like, all throughout my youth, I rarely grew my hair out. And I thought it was weird that one of the most, eccentric parts of my being that can stand out was always so consistently cut off and cut short. And so, as an adult, very early in my adulthood, I decided I wanted to use my hair as a way to represent my Blackness. And, there's been several times where I've had to cut my locks, and I always feel like I just need to grow them back, right? Like it really feels like it's just me, Yeah.
All right. Hey, so once again, what am I going to be doing at the 419 Lock Show? We have the Kwanzaa House Drum Runners. All right. They used to call themselves the Drums of Thunder with Wakeso, his dad Kawape, and a few other of the elders that would drum. So a lot has changed, so we can't use the name Drums of Thunder. So we call ourselves the Drum Runners. We're going to add that extra black flair to the 419 Lock Show. And also we're going to be asking some of the audience members to come up and drum with us. And I may say a few words that either fill the room or clear it out, but it is what it is. I said what I said. And so for everybody, that's this Sunday from 3 to 7. We're going to get started maybe about 3:50 with the national anthem, the Black national anthem. Let me get that right. And then we've got Darius, we've got Jody Summers, Spoken True, Child of the System, all of those names that he is, and more. So come on out, family. Join us. 3922 Secor, Dewey Wings. If you don't make it Sunday, call him Monday and order some food. All right. Call him. That brother started in his house. We all saw him online. Most of us clowned him because he was putting wings in a styrofoam box, putting it in a plastic t-shirt bag, and delivering it to people. We said, that'll never be anything. Then he got a building. Then we said, well, that'll never be anything. So we got another building. So most of us is shut up. The rest of us will just be haters to motivate that brother to do what he does. So send your business to that brother.
Brother, can I add something real quick while we got Darius on? I want to give him his flowers, man. In all seriousness. Yeah. So very early, I know you know what I'm about to talk about, right? Very early in my activism, right? I'll never forget this night, right? Let's just say me and Darius had a very serious conversation about accountability, right? And who I'm serving and who I'm representing, right? When I get on TV and when I'm speaking as a spokesperson. And that is a conversation that I always think about whenever I'm speaking publicly, right? And remembering that, I remember that heat that was put on me, not heat like that, but like that pressure, like, bro, you're on a platform. You have a duty to speak radical, right? To speak to speak anti-capitalistic to an extent, to speak with courage, to speak with power, right? And Brother Washington, sometimes when it's just me, you, and Jody, people may not realize the tentacles of CSRN and how we're represented. This really is a community about community solidarity, right? And when I see Darius, I always think about, him, and the next time I'm going to see him, and I want to be able to see him in a way where it's like, listen, brother, I hear you, and I've held myself to that higher standard. You know what I mean? And that's a real thing. You know, I also want to shout him out for some artwork, right? The
yeah.
underdog tattoo still looking crispy, dog.
We outside with it. Don't play.
All right,
Still
that's
looking
what's up.
crispy. Thank you. And brother, I would not have ever watched The Spook Who Sat by the Door, a classic, right? If it was not for you, right? So we see each other. Sometimes it's a couple months, sometimes it's a couple years, right? But it's always a pleasure to come across you, brother. And I thank you, you know what I mean, for your accountability, for inspiring me to reach higher and to live basically and speak with a higher level of accountability and responsibility for my peers in my community, our peers in our community, really. So thank you for that. And I want to give you your flowers publicly for that. You know,
that's right.
That's love.
All right, man. Hey, look, this is a powerful brother, and I'm glad to be able to sit at the feet of this young brother and continue to re-energize myself to do what I do. Hey, family, we're going to take a short break. We're going to come back with Jody Summers. We're going to top some loose ends, and we're going to be out of here. This is the CSRN podcast, our weekend review. All right. Thanks for all of that. All right. Hey, listen, we are back. This is the CSRN podcast, a weekend review. We are about to tie up some loose ends, and we have Jody Summers back. We hadn't seen him in a minute. He was participating in, do we still have that graphic? He was participating in Sweat. This was from February 16th to February 25th at the Toledo Rep. That's right downtown. If you don't know where it is, now you do. Phenomenal.
The oldest theaters in Ohio and a recipient of the Best of Toledo Award.
Yeah, phenomenal performance.
With that now.
You raised the bar. I wasn't expecting you to be that good. I was just expecting you to be good, but you ended up being excellent and making it your own. Great job. So Jody, it is just after 7:00. We're trying to wind things down. Is there something happening in the community that you've been a part of that you believe that we should know so that our people can continue to stay active?
Yeah, there's actually quite a few things going on. I missed my little segment of doing everything. And I know in a moment we're going to have Darius do some tuning because we might give you a little sample of what you will hear on Sunday as they're exiting out the green room and everything. But yeah, so I guess we'll start it off with a whole bunch of stuff. Again, I get invited to a whole bunch of things. I just gave away some more tickets to one of the things, but we will start off with tomorrow. If you are an artist, and I believe everything is art, there is the grant and info section mixer at Toll House tomorrow at 6:30.
Okay.
So if you want to know how to make your application, because the deadline for the accelerator grants is the 15th. So want to get out by 15th. Unfortunately, if you wanted to apply to the old for zip code, unless they extended it, deadline was yesterday. So if you want to know about how to make sure your whatever it is idea looks the most appealing to the judges, go to the mixer at Toll House. There is also whole bunch of more stuff going on. Fantasticon, which I don't know if you follow my page or anything. I have been going for the past couple of years, the whole cosplay and everything like that. I get tickets and I try and give them out as much as possible. I still got like 10 I got to try and give out before then, but I will probably be there Sunday before the 419 Lock Show, which is going to be an amazing experience.
This Sunday is Sunday.
I double and triple book all the stuff in the world, but it's okay because I'm Jody.
Okay.
There's also at the same time, as I've noticed, that the event center has multiple things going on. So we have the Toledo Art Fair at the same time, March 9th and 10th. So hopefully you can go out and support. This Saturday at 4:00, there's Uncloistered Poetry that follows an open mic. So there's some features there that I believe is going to be at the Peacock on Monroe. There's the grand opening of the Black Gala Carpet that's at the Entrepreneurs Club right around the corner from me, 222 Facet. We also do the Poetry and Soul.
There's been a lot of stuff happening there.
Yeah.
I need to start coming over the bridge, all right?
Yeah. It's nice over the bridge. I'm there.
Yeah, okay, all right. Get some extra lock on my car, but yeah, all right, yeah, I ain't that scared. All right, I ain't that scared.
Oh,
wow. All right, my fault.
But either way, again, Sunday is the 419 Lock Show. We hope to see you out. It's going to be artists and entertainers, locticians. I believe there is like a judging competition for the best lock hair show, dancers, and a whole bunch of good times. I think it was that. If you don't have hair, like more so Brother Washington than me, still come out. That's right. To be kid friendly. So it's an event space. If you think of it as anything else, but mine, stuff like that, this is not what this event is. This is why it is also in the daytime at 3:00.
That's right.
So we hope to see you out for the first ever of its kind with many more years to come. And I think until we come back, there's the Oscar watch party going on at Patron Saints Brewery. And until we come back, that's all the stuff going on. So,
All right, so are we going to transition to 5 minutes of heat, and I can just turn the microphone this way while he's doing the guitar? You can do. I don't know which one we're going to do today.
Oh, the one. So we're giving you somewhat of a preview. He'll probably stop third verse. There are 5 verses in this. Second or third, you fill it out. So, because you can't have a whole thing, you gotta come to the show to see the whole thing.
Okay, all right.
But second or third verse in this piece called "My Brand," which is a thank you to all the creators. I'm an independent creator, hobbyist, or a trade show person, as you would per se. I don't like selling things online. My books are online, but everything else is personal to me. This is a personal thing that I give to you. I've had authors over the years see my yearbook, because if you get something from me, you get to sign that original book. And they've been like, how can you charge people? And I scratch my head and I figure, and as I went to bigger shows, they charge people to take photos with them. I've never done that. So if you see a photo, if you see somebody signing something or me graciously thanking them, that's real, natural. I'm not looking for checks and bonuses or likes or golden stars, because this is my art. This is the piece of me I'm giving, whether it's my voice, something I draw, something I create, or even a gift that is around your neck, because I do that too, or the clothing. I sign that stuff too, because that's yours. But different ages, you never know. Once I get to the point of copywriting all of my intellectual property, maybe you can put and click stuff. I'll be Disney and everybody hate me. I'm shut down. Okay. Anyway, my brand.
All right.
So I'll let, do you have the why we do 5 minutes of heat?
Oh, why is it that we do 5 minutes of heat? For anybody that lived in the 90s, the late 80s and early 90s, there was a group called Houdini that had a song called 5 Minutes of Funk. One of the things that I love to do is creative expression. And when we ended our meetings, when we were meeting in person, I never wanted to end our meetings the way our former slave masters and their children ended.
Robert's rules.
Yeah, or all of their rules, all right? Not just Robert's, but Frank's too, all right? So we pushed back on all of them and Seth. But I wanted to end our meetings with if someone had a rap, had a song, a dance, whatever, so that whatever heavy thing we were talking about, we can end soulful. And Jody has sort of been our resident 5 minutes of heat, but also he also shares it with others that come in that can also have creative expression. And this is the first time that we've got in studio 5 minutes of heat with Darius Simpson on the drums
and some music, live music,
right? And Jody Summers
had a camera that way
with
too.
the words. All right.
You know what? I think if we go to our second backup camera, you'll be able to see Darius.
Let's see.
So I'm going to let him tune up as if you want to book me and all that stuff and want to hear everything. My intro kind of explains it all. So he's going to tune up. He's trying to hide now. I see you over there trying to hide. Okay. So he's going to tune up during my intro. I am an open book to those that decide to read. 1,000 words, yes, 1,000 words to those who've only caught a glimpse of me. And a lifetime, yes, a lifetime to those that can say they were part of my story. If you are anywhere under the sound of my voice, you are now family. Because on this stage is where I share the most vulnerable parts of myself. And I hope, yes, I hope that you hear me. So let's begin. Peace, my brand. Look at my brand. Forget about everything you know about me as a person, a human, a living, breathing, struggling to figure it out person. And look at my brand. I sacrificed everything for this. Things you'll never hear about in the promos. Whispers you'll only hear about from people who can no longer control me. And dedicated, yes, dedicated myself to something worthy of me. Look at my brand. See, this came from sacrifice of some type. And at this point, yes, at this point, now you have to pay for it. I may network with you, but depending on how far along in the process we are, a lunch date, gathering, pop-up, community event, or social gathering surrounded by tons, yes, tons of people is the closest you'll ever get to me. Look at my brand. I know it may look like the same shirt, different logo, but I poured everything, yes, everything into this. The items you see on this table changed me in some way and let me know that I can work for me. I don't have to ask for a vacation, beg for some health care, plead with my supervisor for a break, or get looked over, yes, looked over because the person next to me has a better relationship with the higher ups. Look at my brand. If you're looking to invest, I have plenty, yes, plenty of options. But please don't belittle what I have created by telling me what someone else is similar doing to what I have. But please don't belittle what I created by telling me what someone similar to what I'm doing has, or bargain me down to the bottom line where I make nothing, yes, nothing for everything I sacrificed. You don't need to know me, just the product I create. The exterior is all I am offering, because under the surface might break you, might discourage you, might overwhelm you with fear so much that you'll never want to leave your job. It's fragile, precious, and something that can easily shatter if I don't make the right moves. But with all that said, look at my brand. I take cash, card, various amounts of digital currency, but I cannot take an IOU. One time for the fam. We've known each other since whenever. Look out one time or you made it, so you are supposed to give back. My bills, my livelihood, my family, my future, and everything, yes, everything I ever dreamed of is poured into what you see. So, look at my brand. I hope, yes, I hope you find something you like. And peace.
And as always, we snap our fingers. All right. I want to thank our brother Darius Simpson on the guitar in the tune, but also the tune while he was tuning, and your words, brother. I thought that came together. And we're going to have to play that back one day and see, hey, you might be onto something there. Hey, listen, for once again, everybody, we need everybody to join us this Sunday from 3 to 7?
Yep.
At 3922 Secor, the 419 Lock Show. It's family friendly, entertainment, got some just a positive space to be.
Locticians you can book with, and you can see their work up close and personal.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Hey, listen, and as we always say, all lives can't matter until
Black lives matter.
And Black lives can't matter until
all Black lives matter.
Justice or else?
Yeah.